Welcome to the Vintage Vibe Love Lounge podcast with your hosts Laura and Aneela, where timeless romance meets modern wisdom.
Hey y'all, we have another exciting episode of the Vintage Vibe Love Lounge for you today. I'm Laura, and as always, I am here with my fabulous co-host, Aneela.
Hi everyone, I'm Aneela. Today we're diving into a topic that's really important to many of us: overcoming relationship challenges after the age of 50. Let's be honest, Laura, relationships can be challenging at any age, but there are some unique hurdles that come up as we get older.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely can agree, and I'm so excited we're doing this topic today. For some of you, you may be dealing with things like blended families, health issues, or even just adjusting to this new stage of life. But the good news is, with the right strategies, all of us can overcome any of these challenges and build stronger, more fulfilling relationships.
So true, Laura. Let's get started with one of the biggest challenges: communication. As we get older, we might think we've got it all figured out, but sometimes we still struggle to communicate effectively to our partners.
Yes, and it's important to remember that good communication is the foundation of any strong relationship. One strategy is to practice active listening. I'm sure we've all heard this, but active listening means really paying attention to what your partner is saying without interrupting, and more importantly, here, thinking about your response while they're talking. God knows, in the past, I have been guilty of that. God gave us two ears and one mouth for a reason. When you do this active listening, it shows that you value their perspective and are willing to understand their point of view.
That's a great point, Laura. Another challenge that often comes up is dealing with past baggage. Let me tell you, I don't think I was the best at dealing with my ex's past baggage. So by the time we reach our 50s, we've all got some emotional baggage, whether it's from previous relationships, family issues, or other life experiences. We all have them. And I guess the question is, how do you think we can address this?
Well, one way is to be open and honest about your past with your partner. Now, I know, one, this can be scary, but two, listen, you don't have to let all the dirty laundry air. I mean, some people, that's a question you can ask is, how much do you want to know? But sharing your experiences can help you both understand each other better. And it's important to work on letting go of past hurts. Part of, in our charm school, what we do is we take you through a resentment worksheet. And we all typically say, like, I can tell you probably 9 times out of 10 when I ask clients that I coach, do you have any regrets? People hem and haw and whatever, but at the end of the sentence, they'll typically say, no, you know what, I'm happy with my life. But what we don't ask, the real question is, how have you dealt with the resentments that you have? And while you can do a lot of this self-help, this is also an area that is worth looking into seeking therapy or counseling, either individually or as a couple, to help you move forward and have better understanding of each other.
Ah, yes, therapy. It can be incredibly helpful. Another hurdle is maintaining intimacy. Let's face it, as we age, physical changes can affect our intimate lives, but it doesn't mean we have to give up on this important aspect of our relationships. For me, when I went into menopause, I did notice my lack of desire of wanting to be intimate. Now, I opted to go into hormonal therapy to help me balance it out. And I can say that I truly am still randy. But I know for some women and my sisters as well who do not want to do hormonal therapy. But there are definitely other ways to connect and still keep that intimate relationship with your partner.
Well, you're talking to a Scorpio here, and we are known as the most sexual sign. So, no, in all seriousness, no matter what your age or what your sign, I'm being silly, it is all about adapting and finding new ways to connect. This could mean exploring different forms of intimacy, like emotional closeness or physical touch, that maybe isn't necessarily sexual. And don't be afraid to talk to your partner about your needs and desires. Again, this goes back to that open communication. And I can tell you for myself, anybody out there listening, sorry, Aneela, physical touch, when done in a consistent, loving, intentional manner, is way more sexy than the actual act. And that, of course, you can call that foreplay, you can call it, but at the end of the day, it is a form of intimacy and showing love. And I think sometimes we get so focused on the act that we forget about all of the other beautiful gifts that come with understanding true intimacy.
Wow, that is great advice, Laura. And I would say I agree. There are so many forms of intimacy. And truly, you're right. Sometimes it's the touch, the affection, the words, the caressing. That's far more powerful than the actual sexual act. So I think that was great on pointing that out, Laura. Let's not forget about the impact of external stressors. Things like work, financial pressures, and family responsibilities can all put a strain on relationships. I know this firsthand. When I was married, I remember we had gone through quite an absorbent amount of stress. My ex-husband was an actor, and it was actors had gone on strike. Writers hadn't gone on strike. We had 3 homes at that time, and just trying to juggle it all. I remember I was so stressed out, and so everything about my ex-husband at the time was just driving me bananas. I was an emotional wreck. I just couldn't seem to connect with him because of my fear base and stress, and it took a tremendous toll on us. So external stresses is definitely can play into a relationship, and it is so important to remember all these things are external, and what is happening between you and your partner should always be internal, meaning internally connect with each other. Do not let or allow external factors to affect your intimate bond.
So true. It's absolutely essential to find ways to manage stress together. This could be as simple as setting aside time for each other, planning regular date nights, or finding activities that you both enjoy. And that could be like doing activities where maybe he does something that like with his friends and you're walking the park while he's playing basketball with his friends. And then at the end you come together. It doesn't always mean that you're doing something together, but you're both connected and being focused on doing that actual activity. Also, practicing mindfulness or relaxation techniques can help you both stay calm and connected. I can tell you there is nothing more powerful than a couple. That's why they're called power couples. No, really, a couple that has a mindfulness and meditation practice in the morning where, whatever yours is, but you're both honoring each other in doing that. And whether that's the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, hour of the day, but you're both literally doing the same thing. And it doesn't mean like one of you could be in one room, the other could be in another room, but you're both doing it together. It's so, so, so powerful.
Absolutely. And speaking of activities, staying active and healthy can also play a big role in overcoming relationship challenges, right? Because when we take care of our physical health, it can improve our mental and our emotional well being, and that's making us better partners. To your point, Laura, you don't have to do everything together. You know, my sister loves taking walks by herself in nature, and I personally love hiking by myself. And when I do something good for myself, um, physically or even mentally, like when I practice yoga and I'm having, an opportunity to connect with my breath, I feel so much better, and so I feel relaxed, and I feel like when I'm in that state, I do start my day off better. I do communicate more effectively. I am more calm. So it is very important to stay active.
Well, this is my favorite area. Coming up on 8 years ago, well, let's call it 7.5 because I don't turn 58 until November. So this was August and I was turning 50 in November of that year. Do the math. Anyway, I made the decision to choose me and my health. And I started on Isagenix, Isagenix, and my life has been changed ever since then. It is a lifestyle choice for me that has created a habit, a ritual, a way of living that is so consistent and reliable. I don't live and breathe it every single day, but I can literally show you in my cabinet all of the little tools that I have. And then there are times that I ebb and flow with it. And I know that I can so easily pick it back up. And it is always there for me and so reliable. So exercise, eating well, and getting enough sleep are all crucial. And all of that is about, this isn't a diet. This is about your lifestyle habits. And remember, it is never, ever too late to start a new hobby or activity that you both do together. It can bring you closer and give you something fun to look forward to. And I can tell you, in being with Isagenix for as long as I have and having, sharing it with other people, when the husband or the wife, whatever your situation is, but in most of those cases, it was a husband and wife situation. So if one of them wasn't on the same page, it is doable. Geez, Louise, it creates a really hard dynamic, especially when one is struggling more than the other. So keep that in mind that, sometimes even if it's like for 30 days, support that other person, your partner, by whatever their lifestyle choices are. It's just an act of love.
I love that idea, Laura. Another challenge that came up is dealing with blended families or adult children. These dynamics can be tricky, but with patience and open communication, they can be so incredibly rewarding.
Absolutely. It is so important to set boundaries and communicate your expectations clearly. We just keep repeating this, but for different topics. Let's get real. And remember, it is absolutely okay to seek outside help, whether it's family counseling or an online resource. There are times that we all need that to navigate these relationships.
Great point, Laura. And lastly, let's talk about self-love and maintaining your own identity in a relationship. It's so important to remember that you are your own person, and taking care of yourself is crucial for a healthy relationship. So often we fall into subconsciously, we're not even aware we're doing this, but we can fall so into another person. We want to spend time with them. We want to do things for them because we care for them. But we can also lose ourselves in that process. And it's really maintaining a balance of your own identity and still being a really healthy partner for your significant other. So I know for myself in my past experience, because when I love, I do love hard. But me loving that person hard also means I'm losing a little bit of myself because I took on the role of wanting to take care of them, feed them, maintain the home, like all the things, and not carving out time for myself. And in return, I started having resentment and anger, and I didn't even know why. But when I look back now, as a mature woman looking back at my younger self, I was like, oh, I understand. I gave all of me to that relationship and didn't keep a little part of me for me and make the time for me to honor me so that I would feel better, healthier, stronger, calmer, so that I would be that person in that relationship. It is amazing as you age and the things you learn. And here's the other trick. Just because we've learned it, the truth is, will we repeat that pattern, or will we consciously be aware of it and actually choose to make different choices this time around?
Yes, I love this one, Aneela. Self-love is so vital. Make sure that you are taking time for yourself, pursuing your interest and nurturing your own well-being. There is nothing sexier than a woman. We're talking about women here. Me and Aneela are both women over 50. It's same for a guy. Let's get real. But there's nothing sexier than a grounded, confident, well-balanced human being. When you feel good about yourself, you'll be a better partner and you'll be able to handle relationship challenges, life challenges so much more effectively.
Well, there you have it, folks. Overcoming relationship challenges after 50 is possible with the right strategies and a positive mindset. Remember, every relationship has its ups and downs, but with patience, communication, and love, you can build a strong and fulfilling partnership.
Y'all, this podcast is, especially today, is just about bringing these topics to the surface and letting you all know that you're not weird, you're normal. Like that, like all of us have these challenges, and it is such a privilege and an honor that you give of your time and join us here on these Vintage Vibe Love Lounge podcast episodes. It's part of why we created the Vibe Tribe, so that online we can kind of take this into a whole nother level. So if you haven't joined us yet in the Vibe Tribe, then go to findyourvintagevibe.com and take a look at joining the tribe. It is a loving and nurturing environment. Both Aneela and I hope you have found these tips helpful and encouraging. And tune in next time for more insights and advice on navigating love and relationships beyond 50.
And don't forget to check out our Charm School course for more tips on styling, confidence, and enhancing your personal vibe. Until next time, keep shining and loving yourselves.
Thanks, y'all. We love you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Vintage Vibe Love Lounge. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram at Vintage Vibe Match. Remember, love knows no age. Get out there and find your vibe and keep vibing with us until next time. Connect with us at findyourvintagevibe.com.